going, boys? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's Workshop. Boys, I'm glad you dropped in today. Remember the other video there I was telling you I've got a problem with the bucket forks on my tractor, and I asked you if you knew what that problem was. Well, I've got a solution for it. I hope you noticed what the problem was, but I've got a solution for it. I'm going to take you over now to the bucket, kind of explain what's going on, and talk about what the solution is. So let's go have a look. Alright, so I have the tractor kind of stuck in the shop here, just so that the bucket, I can hold it up on this barrel, so it'll be at a good working height. But here's my bucket. The forks just bolt to the bucket, to the sides of the bucket. I had these forks made. They used to be a cutting edge on a grater blade. So I went to a garage one time and had a fellow with a acetylene torch just cut this profile out here and burn a couple of holes in it. So then I lined up these holes on the bucket to drill out to bolt them on. So I just bolt them to the bucket when I need them. When I don't need them, I take them off. They work really good that way. And I got these forks primarily for lifting logs. Like you saw in my videos, I slide the front of the forks under the log rolls back here, I lift up. Also, the profile of the side cheek here on the bucket is nice for doing that because it has this kind of cutout here as an extra stop and bumper, so that when I lift it up, if I forget to uncurl the bucket, the log will bump here maybe before it rolls over and crashes into me in the cab. So far, knock on wood, I haven't had any of those cases happen to me. But anyway, the forks are a 1/2 inch thick, and the forks are 21 inches long, and they are 45.5 inches apart from the inside cheeks. They work good, but if you saw in my video the problem that I was having, I hope you picked up on it. If you didn't, don't feel bad, because I had these forks for quite a while now before I finally clued in what kind of problem this is. But when I put the forks down, I have to level the bucket kind of at grade, and then even tip the tips down a little bit to make sure the fork gets under the log. Then the log will roll up on here as I'm moving into the log. But as I move into the log, because I have the bucket at grade, I catch a lot of gravel in my bucket. So the bucket tends to fill up with gravel. If you noticed over there on my pile of hardwood, I've got lots of sticks over there that are just covered with gravel, because the ones on the bottom especially, because then as I pile logs back on top, as I dump and curl the bucket to dump the log out, then the gravel that I pick up in here slides out. So my solution to this problem is get a piece of wood. Now it won't be this piece, because this is just pretty thin wood, but get a piece of wood to mount here that'll be flush with the edge of the bucket, right? You can even slope it back a little bit, I suppose. Yeah, I would have to slope it back to follow the profile of the bucket here, so that when the log rolls into it, it wouldn't bump up against this. And I want the wood to be as close to the edge of the bucket as I can to keep the gravel or earth or whatever's in here, keep it out of the bucket. So it would have to be like that. I'm thinking I'm going to use a piece of 1x6 hemlock to do this job. So that'll go there like that. And then, in order to secure it in place, what I'm thinking, on these front bolts here, I'll just form a piece of angle that'll bolt. This bolt will bolt, the angle will bolt to this bolt, and the angle then I can attach that to this piece of 1x6, and then also just maybe put one piece of 2x4 in the middle, just cut it on an angle so that it matches this piece of wood. Cut the back here at that profile so that it sits in there, so that if there's any force comes in the middle, it'll just back up against here and not bend back. So anyway, that's the project. So the first part of this project that I have to come up with is I have to cut a piece of hemlock that's 46.5 inches long. I have my hemlock here, 46.5. Alright, with some messing and fussing, I got those pieces cut there, so let's go try to get it in the bucket. Okay, trying this in the bucket here now. It should fit between there and there. And it does pretty good. And it leans back and follows the profile of the bucket cheek, so that's good. I don't know whether it's worthwhile putting a 45 in the end of that or not. Ah, what the hell, eh? It doesn't cost anything, so let's do it. Okay, I cheated and I just cut these off flush. That was kind of crazy trying to make that little dog ear go over there. So now what happens is my piece will go in here, just like that. And when I go to load a log, the gravel will just bump against this. Now I need a couple pieces of angle iron. So I'm going to go to my metal storage container area. See if I can find some angle iron. So I've got some flat bar here. It's about 1 inch wide. So if I have my diffuser board, or whatever you want to call it, set up like this, I want to make some angle brackets that go between these bolts and the back face of this diffuser. So I'm going to put my board right here with the angle of one, and make a mark right there, and a mark right here. So if I make that 3 inches long, that should be plenty to get past that bolt. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces 6 inches long, so 3 inches, a little bit for the bend, and another 3 inches. So 2 pieces 6 inches long I'll cut off of this piece of flat bar. Okay, so 6 inches is there. So I've got my grinder, I'll cut that off. I was just thinking, because that board might have a tendency to flip up as I'm plowing, I'll show you here in a sec, I'm going to cut another one of these just to make sure that I can hold it in place. I'll show you in a sec what I'm thinking about. So there's my 4 lengths. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole in either end and dress up the end of these a little bit just to make them nice and neat. I'm going to start with this 1/4 inch hole, and then I'll go up a size. 3/8. So if this step bit works, I'm going to go as deep as this paint mark, and that should be deep enough. Just about like that. So there's the mark I put. What I want to do now is just fold this out into a 90 degrees. There we go. Okay, now what I like to do is just bend those over into 90s, right? So after some bashing and some smashing, I got 2 brackets now. Now, these ones, I'm just going to have to bend these a little bit more than 90, and I'll show you why once we get over there. But anyway, let's just start bending them. That was fun. Okay, I think I'm almost ready to start here. We'll put that bolt in there. Through here, you just snug this up for now, and then my board is going to go in here, something like that, and it's going to rest against that bracket. Now I'm going to take my center punch, now I made kind of a mark here. So I'm going to try and drill those. So I got some 1/4 inch bolts, so I'm going to put that 1/4 inch bolt in there. And that 1/4 inch bolt is going to go through this bracket. There we go. Then we put a washer in here. So there's that. So we're going to do the same on the other side. So there's where my piece is going to sit, flush with the front of the blade of the bucket. That's good. I was concerned that as debris build up against the front of this, it may push it back and break it. So I was going to put a piece of 2x4 back here to support it, but instead of doing that, that's why I made these little brackets. I'm going to hook those right under the edge of the bucket and then screw them into this, so that should keep them. I mean, I realize that it's only one screw is going to be in here, and it may break off, but we'll see how that goes. So I marked here, the bucket's 48 inches wide, so 16 inches in from each side. Okay, that's it. Okay, I picked up that log and I dropped it up here, but I forgot to put record, so I missed that part. But let's have a look at the bucket and just see if my little, like, dam here worked, right? Look at that. Well, you know what? Some gravel got in the bucket, but I'm going to give myself a pass on this one, because when I was trying to pick up the log down here, I was going like extra deep to make sure that I was trying to dig up some gravel. So I did dig in there, and probably deeper than I normally would. So because of that, I guess the gravel went up over my dam. So anyway, that's not so bad. So one thing I'll say though, even though the gravel come up over top of this moldboard here, when I dump my log off, the gravel doesn't fall back out of the bucket because this stops it. So, you know, that's a plus. The problem I was having, wait, let's see if I can show you some examples here. If you can see down in there, it's hard to see, but like, there's half a yard of gravel in there. And that's because when I was picking the logs up, I was getting nothing but gravel too. So I think this is going to be a good add to my bucket forks. And the other thing too is when it comes time to take the forks off, I take this bolt out and this bolt out, take the fork off. But when I take that bolt out on both sides, then this moldboard here will come out as well. So I think it's going to be all right. Well, I think that's a nice little add there on the bucket, along with the bucket forks. That's going to work good, keeping the gravel out of the bucket. The problem with the gravel in the bucket, when you dump the log, like I was showing there, the gravel spills out on the logs. And then if you're trying to buck up the logs, especially if you're bucking them up like while they're on the pile, which is not recommended, but a lot of people do that, then you've got gravel all over your logs, and gravel and chainsaws, just, they're not a good mix. So this is going to work good. Plus, like I showed there with my example, if I really dig in and dig up lots of gravel, it'll spill over top of that moldboard. But then when I go to empty the log and dump the log off the forks, the gravel stays in the bucket. So that was a plus I wasn't thinking I was going to obtain. So it's good that it works like that. So I think this is a good ad. Let me know what you think. Do you think it's a good ad as well? And I hope you enjoyed this little cliffhanger of a video. Don't forget, folks, thumbs up me. Man, I hope you're having a great week. I hope it's nice where you are and you're enjoying your time here. Take care, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.